Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Star and Flurry. I am going to attempt to do I don't know if I'll probably do a tag, but I don't know if anybody will respond. But I hope they do. It's something I referred to in a previous video about my decks that made me uncomfortable, and I mentioned something about decks that are almost too happy. And that got me to thinking about decks that give me great joy. And I thought that might be a fun video to do. Now, this is really hard because I am a collector. I have a fairly good library of tarot decks. I don't think not hundreds. But a good size, a good spread of all sorts of different kinds. And it's unusual that they find their way down to a purgatory area. It's more about storage than anything else because it's amazing how often I'm down there fishing out stuff. But this was really hard because all of my decks give me joy in many different ways and on many different occasions and for many different reasons. And I think so. The struggle is how do you define, in this case, the joy, and I think that's up to you, really. If you want to respond in like with a VR to this, I think I just know that when I go through my tarot decks or when I'm looking for something in particular, there'll be one that that pops up and I'm like, oh, and then they'll get sidetracked and I'll spend an hour looking through it. That's a deck that gives me joy. Now that may not be a deck that I use all that much, but it's a deck that for whatever reason, for whatever memories are attached to it, whatever the images do to me, there's just a million reasons. It's the same reasons why decks make you uncomfortable. Is it the way it feels in your hand? Is it the way in which you received it that just infused it with all this joy and endues you? And I've got a few of those. Did I say the way it feels in your hands? Yes. And or just the images on the page that make you smile every time you pick it up. And again, these may not be decks that call you to use them all the time. It could be as simple as something as the edging. Who knows? And so this made this a very, very difficult thing for me to narrow down. So I'm going to breeze through the first few because the first few are ones I've already talked about in my Deck Crush. Because Deck Crush most of them brought me great joy for as long or as short as we had time together. The good news is we still have time together because I'm just not a deck thrower outer. I'm not a deck rehomer yet. I have some that I don't use that often, but there's decks that I can't have the heart to get rid of them. So that's where we're going to start. And I'm going to try to give you as much information as I can about the creators and whatnot as I can, and I will leave a list down below to links, just a refresher or a restatement. I'm not affiliated with any of these creators, illustrators, publishers, anything, so whatever link you click on, you're just going to the link. I'm not affiliated with any of them. So quickly, decks that bring me joy. So I'll give you the first one, and then did I keep it here? I hope I did. Yes. And I'll give you this one, and then kind of the second. This is one that's on my Deck Crush, and it's familiar to everybody, I'm sure. And it's called the Marshmallow Marseille by Wandering Oracle. And I'll just show, and this one I'm going to do with all these, because it's a lot of decks, and I don't want to waste your time with these, but I'm going to have so much fun doing this, I think. So this is the Wandering Oracle. You've seen it a million times. I've showed it a million times. Try to get the very cool hologram backs there. This is a Marseille deck. Just full. It's not like super brightly colored, but it's just colorful enough. And so beautifully done. That, not to mention the size of the deck, which is just in my wheelhouse. I know I say that a lot, but it's true. Things are I say wheelhouse a lot, and I say muck it up a lot. I know. I'm well aware. Anyway, so this deck is adorable, and it gives me joy every frickin' time I pick it up. And why not? Because look at that box. It's pink and silver or holograph. It's adorable. I love it. I heard it. So the one that's in line with that one that I just recently received, haven't had a lot of time to work with it, it's a Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. Okay, first of all, pink again. I know. Not my favorite color, although I am kind of wearing a little bit of it tonight. But I can be honest, it's not a color I wear often. But I'm sorry, with a name like the Squid Cake Oracle, how can it not bring you joy? It just has to, because what the hell is a squid cake? I mean, when you really think about it, yuck. Unless there's a secret meaning, I don't know, and I haven't read the guidebook far enough to figure out if there's something there. But anyways, very cute deck. First of all, these are the backs. Very cute. It is edged in pink, and I'm not comparing these two decks, I'm just telling you some of the differences. But this one has a kind of a limited color palette, more pinks and reds and some greens, and then these blue-faced people. And I think the thing that is remarkable to me about this deck, let me see if I can get closer, is okay, so these characters are a little, I hate using the word cartoonish because I feel like when I use that word, I'm minimizing the artwork, and that is not what I'm doing. But I'm defining it as a form of art that is not standard to realistic art. It's not anime. It's more cartoon is the only way I can describe it. But the faces, as simple as they are in this deck, are so expressive. I mean, look at that. The High Priestess is like, yeah, so this is what's going on here. And I think it's just, there's a little bit of doubt in her mind, and I appreciate that. Let me bring this one back. The Magician, he's kind of like, yeah, I'm all over this, I think. I just love it. And the Fool is just blissfully unaware. I mean, and these are such simple and interesting drawings, and I just love them. The Emperor. I mean, he's got his baton, and he's kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm on it. I got it. I'm good. I'm good in my ripped holy jeans. Oh my God. The Hierophant. Oops. The Hierophant. With his two little fingers, blue face, speaking to the pink flamingos who are listening, who are rapt by what he has to say. And the lovers, the faces on the women, one said, hello, and the one's, I'm here. And the guy says, whatever, I don't get. This one is just, look at that face. Oh my God. They're like, I have no idea. I love it. Anyway, so the squid cake. So it's hard to not mention the squid cake when you're talking Marseilles. Those are the only two Marseilles in here. Because I don't know why, but I tend to look at Marseille as kind of a more serious style deck. No matter what you do to it. These two buck that trend, but I have several Marseille. The Marseille White, is it the Marseille White deck? Which is kind of a Marseille style deck, but it has, the pips are illustrated and it's a little bit more Rider-Waite oriented. That deck I appreciate quite a lot. It gives me some joy, but it's not ultimate joy for whatever the difference is, so it's not included here, but I thought I'd mention it. Okay, another one that was in my deck crush, which I'll speak about briefly, is the Pixie Pop Tarot, which again is on one of my, not only is it my deck crush, it's one of my top 3 tarot decks. Those are the backs because of the sizing and the coloring. It's Rider-Waite through and through, but it's just got beautiful kind of ombre coloring. These are probably the same, they're exactly the same order probably that I showed before. The Hermit, the Two of Swords, one of my faves. I love and the computer right now is doing pretty good justice to the coloring of the cards. Here's the Seven of Swords. So the whole deck is like this. It's just a really fun. I'm trying to find it. Anyways, you get the idea. So we don't want to dwell on it. We've been on this deck before, so we'll move on. And not to mention the gorgeous bag I have it in. I can't. I wish I could remember the name of who did this for me, but it just goes perfect with it. So is that one? Thirdly, I'm counting the Marseille decks as one. So that's one, two. So three is the Trash Panda Tarot, which again I mentioned frequently. It was the joy this brings me. It seems to me this was my first ever Kickstarter, but the cards are just you can't not love these. You can't not fall in these rascals. Fall in love with these rascals. I mean, look at that. The fair, the soda cans, the fireworks. Oh my God. Hierophant. So, really, I just can't not show these. Oh my God. It's so stinking cute. So, the Trash Panda Tarot, by the way, by Jennifer Starling Dukart. And I mentioned the Marseille Tarot was is it Wandering Oracle? Yeah. And the Squid Cake Tarot is by Jess Roller, Rollar. Jess Roller. I'm trying to remember to do this, but as I said, if I forget, which I might, I'll list everything down below. I'm getting hot. Talking about joyful decks heats me up. Sip of cool water. Okay. So, and like I was watching somebody else that said, I'm sorry I'm taking up your time to stuff my decks back in their little boxes, but if I don't, you end up with this. Oh, I want to take a moment to remind everybody to check out Marlena Teresa's YouTube on the Deck and Watch she's starting. I believe it starts March 21st. It's going to be really cool. I'm very excited about it. So we've done that one. And the other one that gives me great joy, which you all know, I've mentioned it almost every time I talk about any decks that I like, is my beloved Maraloon. Get these. Let me get these. So first of all, instead of a guidebook, it comes with it comes with cards that just have descriptions, all the descriptions you could possibly need on it. It also comes with an extra lovers card. I think and that didn't go on. Anyways, it's available on Make Playing Cards. It is by, oh my God, did I not write? I didn't write it down. Crack. And there's not a poop. Well, I'll list it in the thing. Sorry about that. My apologies, because I really like this deck. But anyways, just Maralunne, 2 words. Maraloon. Make Playing Cards is where you can find it. And it's this deck, oh my God, there's just nothing about it that doesn't bring me joy. The artwork is just a style I love. In fact, she has prints, I believe it's on Etsy or one of those. She actually has prints of a lot of her work, and I bought one that it wasn't a tarot card. She's got other artwork as well, which I dearly love, and I've got it up in my bedroom. But she just really has a style that I appreciate. And I don't think anybody would be disappointed in this deck. It's just gorgeous. It's available, as I said, at Make Playing Cards, and then there's also this is just a regular Make Playing Card deck, and then there's Game Crafters has a linen edition. Although I will say the linen edition at Game Crafters is a little more washed out than this one, and I've already talked about that one. Okay, so that's the 3 one more. Radiant Wilds. I mean, oh my gosh, this was my heavy deck crush during the Deck Crush VR. And it still gives me great joy. I mean, how can it not? I mean, just the colors alone, oh my God. Those are the backs. And it's just, I think that's what's so amazing about this deck. It has an exceptional guidebook. And the artist spends a lot of time talking specifically about each kind of little miniature piece of the art. Now, as a whole, it appears to be fairly minimalist, but it is not. There's a little something to each and every moment of each and every deck. And so I can't recommend it more highly. It's just fascinating. I've learned a lot from this. I'll show more stuff. This world card. Oh my god. This whole deck is just stunning, and it's got kind of some gold gilding. Anyways, and so the Radiant Wilds, and of course, did I write? Oh, I have right there. Put him back in his little, but turn him into a bundle of joy. These are all bundles of joy. Oh my god. Okay, so that was the Radiant Wilds. Let me dig out the hold on, so I can tell you. It is by Nat Gersberger, and it comes, as I said, comes with a great guidebook. Put you all together. Okay, so now on. So decks that give me joy. So I'm going to start with the Summer Holiday Tarot by Destiny. This deck is super fun. First of all, it comes in an industrial strength box. It's almost like metal, but it's not. It's really hard cardboard. And the thing that gives me such joy about this deck is the gilding. I mean, it's like a holographic suntan is the best way to describe it. The backs are all slightly different. They all kind of have a pool, like an overhead view of the water and beach chairs and beach balls. And I tried at one point to see if there was some connection to them if you turn them over, and I wasn't able to solve that puzzle. But it might be a little, as they say, Easter egg in there. I don't know. But these are, now I would call this art style cartoonish, but they're very descriptive. I would say this would be a really good beginner's deck, and even a kid's deck. It's just fun. Well, maybe that's not too kid-like, the seductive high priestess. But anyways, it's just, it's very cute. And every time, I don't work with this deck at all. Because, I guess because I'm not a big fan of jokey decks. And I think because, tarot is more serious than that to me. But there's a fine line between joy and jokey. And this one, I think, is just a lot of joy. So I give it its props. Secondly is the Rainbow Heart Tarot by Rachel Rosencoder. And I think she's from the Portland, Oregon area. She came out with this great little pocket version of the full size. Got the holographic stuff on it. Fun backs. And you can't hate this deck. Even looking at the Eight of Cups, you can't hate that. You can't hate it. It's got just really, I love the coloring in it. It's not, it's not on fire coloring. Well, it is kind of in this one. But it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Neon in any way. But it's brightly, the images are just beautiful, very Rider-Waite, as most of these decks that I have are. But I love this deck. Every time, I worked with it a lot when I first got it, and then, I love the Six of Wands. Oh my god. Horse of a different color. That was one of my favorite scenes in Wizard of Oz. And it took me a long time to see. I remember never seeing it I saw it as a kid a lot, but I never really saw that part of it until I was like 12 or 13. Where when they're doing their kind of parade through the Emerald City right after they've gotten there, and the chariot guy announces, that's a horse of a different color. And then every scene, the horse is a different color. That was totally cool. Speaking of the Wizard of Oz, I just watched on YouTube the collaboration of Pink Floyd and that album they had that people or some guy mashed together with the Wizard of Oz movie, and it is uncanny. And it's just uncanny. I check it out. Just type in on YouTube, type in Wizard of Oz Pink Floyd, and it'll come up. an hour and a half of fun time spent. Anyway, so yeah, so we love. Oops. Here's the Ten of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's just, ugh, glorious. So anyways, that is the pocket edition of the Rainbow Heart Tarot. Gives me great joy every time I pick it up. Along that palette, let's hit up the Desert Illuminations Tarot. It may have been Don Michelle who turned me onto this deck. I'm not sure, but oh my god. It's a little otherworldly. These are the backs. And it's definitely got kind of the Southwest influence. Now, wait a minute. Oh no, I'm just seeing things. Okay. I thought they'd misspelled desert. Anyway, so, and they have changed the things around a little bit. Jug, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. But, so there's skeletons and there's UFOs and interesting, so you can find kind of what I'm talking about. I love the Hermit card in this deck. But I like this. Which one's this? So that is the two of, and I can't remember what it is, but the equivalent of the Pentacles. So two of Pentacles with the, so you kind of have to know, here's the, that is hard. Don't go to sleep. She doesn't look very scared. She looks peaceful. She's in a peaceful slumber. Sun. Trickster. I love this one. Who is the trickster? Oh, the Fool. Interesting. Anyway, so fun deck. I highly encourage anybody to check it out. There. And it's called, again, let me get this back in its box. Comes with a little fold-out guide thing. And again, it's called the Desert Illuminations Tarot. And it is illustrated and designed by Lindsay D. Williams. So check it out. Really fun. So this is one that I mentioned in the uncomfortable decks. This deck doesn't make me uncomfortable, but it's almost too happy. And for that reason, this is one I had to dig out of purgatory because I just don't use it. It's just there's just a little too much joy in this deck. But when I pulled it out of purgatory, I was like, well, dang, look at you. You are kind of lovable. I mean, how can you not be with these joyful backs? I mean, the only downside is I don't like I don't like names or logos on the cards like here, but that's what happens. This is by Kitten Chops, I think. Yeah. And it's called the Playful Heart Tarot. The only thing that was weird about this deck is it has this vanilla smell. Now, I love fragrances, and I'm kind of a vanilla. I like fragrances that have a good shot of vanilla in them. But I don't want my tarot decks to smell of vanilla. Just like you don't want them to, you just don't want them to smell. I don't understand why that is. Speaking of which, I got a deck the other day in the mail that was packed with incense. Don't do that. Fortunately, the deck was wrapped well in cellophane, but the minute I opened the box, woof, up came this woof, smell, kind of waft of air, and I was like, oh God, what's happened here? Or what shop did, when I first saw it, what shop did this come from? But when I finally unwrapped it, it had been wrapped with some incense. I'm like, yeah, don't, you know. You're probably not looking for advice, but my advice would be don't do that. That's just, no. That kind of smell can be difficult to get out of cards. But anyways, so this deck is just, it is very happy. It's, for me, it was a difficult, it's a difficult reader. I don't, for whatever reason, I don't relate to the artwork all that well. But it's hard not to be happy when looking at the images because they're cute. They're really cute. Knight of Cups. I mean, that's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyways, Kitten Chops, you did a good job on this deck. I think it's just not my style. But it does give me great joy when I open it up and look at it. It's very cute. So there's that one. And again, that is the Playful Heart Tarot. Okay, another one that gives me joy is I've seen this pop up on people's feeds here and there. It's just called Tarot. And it's called Tarot, the Complete Kit. And it's published by Running Press. You can still find it here and there. And it's by Dennis Fairchild, illustrations by Julia Pashkis by the Running Press, Philadelphia. And I will tell you that whoever designed this book was probably in charge of designing the Everyday Tarot, the purple and gold one, with the horrendous packaging box. This is right up there. So first of all, it's a metal box. Yay, thank you. Then it has the book, which is actually, fortunately, is pull-outable, so that's nice. It's just a little sleeve that it sticks into. And then you have to open the top and get the cards out. Now, that's fine. It's just complicated. I don't know why they like to make things so complicated. I don't understand that. But anyways, but it's an awfully cute deck. And yeah, a complete deck of 78 cards. Last copyright was 2002. So I think it's kind of old. And I remember when I first saw somebody, the backs are just freaking adorable. I mean, that's part of, sorry about the glare. I can move that out a little bit. But those are the things. And it's just, it's really simple. The Fool. Again, trying to work on the glare here. Magician. A bunny rabbit. And they're small. High Priestess. So these are in order, you can tell. I haven't used them. The Empress. So the illustrations are quite simple. I love the Emperor and his boot. Oh my God. That's just, it's a lot more going on in these cards than you think. So that's the Hierophant. I won't show them all, but I love the Chariot. He's on his bike. So this deck, as simple as it is, always makes me smile. I just love it. And it's all of like $9 or something. It was super, super inexpensive, I remember. And I just get a kick out of it every time I open it up. So, yay for that. What the hell fell out here? Oh, it belongs in here. A loose card. Get back in there. Okay, so that was called the Tarot. Let's not mince words. Tarot, the Complete Kit. So there's that one. The next one I'll bring up is it's a kind of to me it's a 2-deck combo, but it doesn't come. You have to order them separately. But they're called story cards, or this one's called Story Cards. Story cards, and this one's called Synchronicity. They're both designed by Kathy Nichols. They're billed as a inspiration. This one's Oracle deck, 77 cards with an interpretive booklet, and this one's 70 hand-painted cards in instruction booklet. And it is also, is it booked as an oracle? Oracle cards to guide your way, tell your stories, inspire inner wisdom. And this is one I don't use all that much, but every time I open it up and I use it, I wonder why, because it really is adorable. Kind of uninventive back, so just the card box, basically, is the back. They're all this way. But they are, it's kind of a little bit of a collage style, embellished collage, I guess maybe would be the word for it. And I'm surprising myself now because I didn't mean to include Oracle, but I am. I'm not sure why I didn't think about that when it came to this deck, but yeah. Because there's a lot of oracles that give me great joy. It's kind of built into the oracle message, I think, is usually on the positive side, I would think. Well, but there's also downsides too, I guess, yeah. But anyways, I love this artwork so much. Yes! It's a good, strong yes card. I like this one, longing to get on that Ferris wheel. Anyways, these are really cool decks. Kathy Nichols, and I encourage anybody to check it out. So it's a cool. Sorry, I keep slamming these on the table. Anyways, great little decks. Okay, next. Partially just because of the name, the Wandering Traveler Tarot. I actually have 2 editions. This is the first one I got. It's created by the Bohemian Tarot Girl. The Key to the Universe is Within Us All. So that, I believe, is the 2nd edition. I also have the 1st edition, which is here, which I like. Now, the 2nd edition is borderless, which I think most people would think of as a plus. But after receiving the 1st edition, and I don't know how I even found out there was one, I actually like it more. I think these cards, I like the border on them. 9 of Cups. And this deck, I think, gives me joy because it's usually one, just because of the name, it's usually in my travel bag. It's a good size. It travels well. I bring it with me. That's when I pull it out. And so this deck just has traveling memories for me in it. And I love it for that reason, and it gives me great joy. These are reworked photographs of the artist. She's treated them in some way, but I just think they're lovely. I love this Chariot card. Here's the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. It's just a fun deck. I can't come. And I'll dig out I was going to show both, but let me show the other one. I'll show you the difference. I'm not going to dig out the same cards because that's just a little too much, but I'll give you the idea of the difference in the card style. So here is the 1st edition with the white border, and here's the 2nd edition of being it borderless. So the cards are exactly, I believe they're exactly the same size. But while I like the borderless, I like the borders on these better. For some reason, to me, it gives depth to the cards more than the borderless version. So I'm really glad I have both. I probably would have ordered a 2nd copy of this anyways, which I do when I think that I know I really love a deck and wouldn't want to be without it at any time. And that's why I ended up with the 1st edition, which has turned out to be the working edition that I use the most. But yeah, I just love it. So that's cool. I just realized I didn't put that away. So let's do that. I think that goes in here. A loose little white book of. This goes with the story cards. Okay, so put this. Okay. Next, so we did the Wandering Traveler. So next, if you're a cat person, I used to be a cat person. I'm more of a dog person in real life, even though I don't have one. But I've had cats my whole life, or my roommates have had cats, and I do dearly love them. And this Into the Void, the Black Cat Tarot, is just a must for anybody who has or loves cats. This author. Oh, I should tell you who it's by. Black Cat Tarot. Comes with a little white book with about the artist. Alexandra Akalina is a Maltese Berlin-based illustrator and screen printer with a background in psychology and design and obsession with 90s girl power role models and cats. She illustrated the Moon Crystal Tarot in 2017. I'm not familiar with that one. And independently published it with the support of Kickstarter backers. This is her 2nd tarot deck. She can be found on Instagram, Facebook, Etsy under the moniker Screen Girl Merch. So, Into the Void, the Black Cat Tarot. These are the backs. Can you see them, all the little cats? So this deck has just really, in my opinion, captured kitty cats and all their troublemaking, all the mischief that they can find themselves in. God, this is classic. Isn't that classic? The sun. I just love it. This deck always, honestly, just because there's just a memory for me in the years that I've had kitty cats, a memory in almost every card with this. Cats, they all have their own personality, and yet they share so many of the traits that bring us joy as kitty cat people. Anyway, so this is a great one. My cat used to, when I would have dinner, I'd have dinner out on the coffee table in front of me, and all of a sudden up would come this paw fishing for what was on my plate. Oh, little devil cat. She was a sweetheart. So, Into the Void, the Black Cat Tarot. Great deck. Okay, moving on. Trying to move along here. Okay, done that one. The Stella Tarot. Oh my god. Stella's Tarot, I guess is what it's called. This deck, another one, the box is just destroyed. I had to tape it up and do all sorts of stuff. And it is the tarot cards by Stella. I can't see it. Karoruki, made in Belgium. This is a Fournier deck, I believe. So, by Stella Caruco and painted by Takiko Hoi. It's just, I think it's a Fournier deck, isn't it? Maybe not. I can't remember. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a deck. What's nice about it is it's a little smaller, so it comes with a really nice guidebook. It's a little bit smaller than a normal tarot, or is it? I think it is. Anyways, these are the backs. Very cute. And just, again, it's the art style that just I love on this one. Queen of Cups. Three of Wands. I love the flags. Fortune, Wheel of Fortune. And I don't even mind the borders. I think they're kind of cool, actually. It gives a Three of Cups. Gives the deck kind of this, I don't know, kind of old-fashioned feeling. Four of Cups. These cups. Four of Wands. Five of Wands. Ace of Swords. Beautiful, beautiful card. Excuse me while I itch my nose. Oh, God. It's like I swear to God, every time I get on here, I end up having nose issues. Sorry. Anyway, Stella's Tarot. Beautiful deck. Love it, love it, love it. Another deck that gives me great joy is the Pixie's Whisper. I got the smaller size. So the fun thing about this deck is it has like four or five different backs. Maybe it's six. Yeah. So those are all the backs. It's based on Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's just been kind of reworked. Ace of Cups. Five of Cups. And no titles on any, and even with the major arcana. Yeah, no titles, which is kind of nice, but, if you're familiar at all with tarot, if you know. Two of Cups. Of course, I'm not, every once in a while I get fooled, but this deck, I just love it. It's a linen edition. I love it's colorful, but it's more, kind of muted coloring. Four of Pentacles. The Moon. Just a really, really, really cute deck. And it's called Pixie's Whisper. It's by Divination Apothecary. The artist is Lorene Music. and Muzik, and you can get it on Etsy, I believe. And it comes with this cute little bag. So how cool is that? Second to last, we're almost there, people. How long have we been going? I can't tell. Please tell me this is recording, because if it's not, I'll be really upset. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. 40 minutes. Okay, not too bad. So we're on the last two. So this one, I don't know. I was looking for a deck that Chris Reck uses at Minnow Pontero. And it's been driving me crazy what the deck is. It's like neon. It's a minimalist deck, but each of the symbols that they're using are these light. It's really cool. And I've asked him several times what the deck is, and he just won't give it up. So, or either he's not seeing it, or maybe it's not available. I don't know. Maybe he's testing it out for somebody. I don't know. I love him. I love his readings. He's very inspirational, which I appreciate. Anyway, so in the process of trying to find that deck, I found this one, and it's called Tarot. It does have a box. Tarot by the Neon Light, and it's by Chain Assembly is the name. I don't think that's his official name. But anyways, and these are the backs. I love the backs because, oh my God, why wouldn't you? We've all been there on a long road trip, haven't we? And each of these is just kind of neon. I don't know how it's put together. Where I doubt that this is actual photography of an existing neon sign, but who knows? But I like he announces what it is, and then also has the symbol of the thing. So this is a Major Arcana, Temperance. Believe this is the Chariot. No, sorry, Devil. Death. Sorry, is it Death? God, see, look at me. I'm an idiot. Not really. I know. I just don't know my numbers very well. Death. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not totally off. Four of Pentacles. I mean, aren't these cool? I just love them. They just... Oh, the crutches, or the Five of Pentacles. I mean, it's just so... Knight of Pentacles. Two of Swords. I mean, it's, again, very minimalist art. Not a lot to grab onto if you're an intuitive reader, but I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Ten of Cups. So the deck is just, oh yeah. Page of Cups. So this was just a fun find. I'm really glad. And when I got the deck, the Fool card looked like it had some difficulty coming out of a machine of some kind. It had a big scratch on the top of it. And I wrote Chain Assembly. The rest of the deck was fine. Oh, and also black. I forgot to mention it. This gilded in black. So I wrote the creator and I said, what do we do here? Is it possible to get a new Fool card? He was like, absolutely. It's in the mail tomorrow. Consider it in the mail. And it came like 3 days later. And I thought, thank you. This is the way these kind of situations should be handled. Thank you and well done, Chain Assembly. I appreciate it. I love this deck, and it gives me great joy. So last but not least is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. And did I write down? But yeah, by get my notes straight here, by Linnea Weatherstone and illustrated by Marilla Allwood. Can't read my own writing, Nancy. Marilla Allwood. So the reason I'm particularly having great joy with this deck is I just edged it and I love it. So here are the backs that you're all familiar with, and here's my edging. It's I just love it. I was watching somebody's thing a while back, and they had a very teal like edging, and I thought it was stunning. I tend to go, especially with these natural decks, I tend to go with more kind of browns and woodsy colors. But and I was tempted to do that with this deck, but then I saw that teal and I thought, oh, I love it. So then I picked out what I thought was going to be teal, and it really turned out to be almost a interestingly enough, this happened around St. Patrick's Day, almost a shamrock green, which, while lovely, was not the color. And so I picked out a darker bluish teal to put over it, and the green still came out pretty. I'm trying to find a place where the light will actually be accurate. Let me bring this over a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Um, but I just think it turned out so cool, and I just so this deck, because it was a lot of work doing that twice, and then God, it had to dry for like freaking 45, 48, almost 3 days, 72 hours. I kept thinking it was kind of tacky, and it was like Jesus. But I think I got good ink saturation. The nice part is that most of these cards are pretty green, so even if there was bleed over, it's not causing any issues, I don't think. So anyways, you're all familiar with Forest Enchantment Tarot. We have the green deck. Just love it. Llewellyn, I believe, comes in the big box with the big guidebook, which is very nice because they do change up the suits a little bit. They have visions and boons. Did I have this all in order? I guess I do. So they have visions, spells. Let me back up a minute here. So visions are cups. So visions and then spells. Very good at getting the spells. Just so cute. And then challenges for the sword suit. And then boons. So what do you have? Spells, boons, challenges, and visions. And then, of course, the Major Arcana, which a few things are changed up in there as well. The court cards are changed as well. So there's the Seeker, the Weaver, the Keeper. Oh, wait. The Child, I think is the first one. Yeah. Child, Seeker, Weaver, and Keeper. And then the Major Arcana is these are totally out of order, but anyway, so the white card is the Fool. The Enchanter is the Magician. I love that. Reminds me of a professor I had in college. The Wise Woman is the High Priestess. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. But right now it's giving me great joy because I put a lot of work into it, and I love the results. So this is my great deck that gives me great joy. So that is it, people. That was a lot of decks. And there's a lot of others I could put in here, but I didn't because I knew I didn't want to keep you here for an hour and a half, which I easily could have. But yeah, so let me know down below if you want what decks are the ones that light you up when you open them up, even if you're not using them, just the ones that kind of remind you that, because on tarot, I think you can take it very, very seriously it is. It depends on your questions, I guess, but it is kind of a serious art, as it were, and there is kind of that weird kind of dichotomy, juxtaposition of taking joy out of witchy stuff, kind of woo. But I really enjoy it. And these decks just give me that. See, I'm going to have a hard time. My desk is completely cluttered with them, and I don't want to put any of them away. I just want to play with them all night. So anyways, thank you so much for stopping by. It's always a treat. And you have yourselves a great day, and if you have any questions or need any follow-ups on any of these decks, please just leave a message below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Okay, thank you so much. Start Flurry out. Bye.